What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Rooted in Nature. Today is, I think, July 6th. I'm going to be telling y'all 5 things y'all can plant in y'all's garden right now in July. And before I get into this, I want to let y'all know I'm in South Carolina Zone 8A. So you can probably still plant some of the stuff, but I have like 125 days till my last frost date, so I can plant a lot of this. You might not be able to plant a lot of this. Just check your dates, and that's all you have to do. So the first thing I'm gonna tell y'all you can still plant is okra. Here's some okra plants I just planted and left alone. You can see the weeds and stuff came. There's a whole thing about that. I'll get into that later. Now, the varieties I would plant would still be a shorter variety that's eating with squash bugs. Don't worry about it. That's coming out soon. So, what I'm saying about short variety is some take 100 days, 90 days. But the ones I would plant is red burgundy, jade, or Star of David. Star of David takes, let's see, 56 days to harvest, and red burgundy takes 55 to 60 days. So yeah, let's move on to number 2. Number 2 just happens to be right here. Zucchini or squash. You can still plant summer squash and some winter squash, like baby, I think it's baby honey or honey baby, like a smaller butternut squash or something I would do with winter squash. Now, summer squash, you can still plant zucchini and squash, any summer squash. Here, I got y'all some varieties: gray zucchini, early crookneck, zucchini golden, and then we have black beauty zucchini. Now, those all mature about like 50-ish days. In the South, a lot of people plant zucchini for the fall. They don't plant their zucchini in the first of summer or spring. They wait until after the squash bugs are all gone. So doing this, you won't have as much squash bugs. Now, I would pull your plants out now so the squash bugs will leave by the time you put your plants, or their plants come up out the ground. That is just what I would do. But yeah, so like I said, it matures in about 50 days, and yeah. Okay, y'all, so we're gonna move on to the third one. So the third thing you can still plant right now in July is actually cucumbers. A lot of people pull the cucumbers because they're bitter or whatever, and the thing about it is cucumbers actually not love the heat, but they do okay in the heat. It's just certain varieties. But I'm not going to go into too many details about those varieties right now, but I will tell y'all a couple varieties that mature pretty fast and that you can still plant. So the range of maturity dates are like 35 to 50 with the pickling cucumbers. This is a pickling cucumber that just went ripe. I let go ripe so I could save seeds. But a pickling cucumber variety is Sumter. It matures in about 50 days. In my experience, that's not true. It actually matures in about 35 to 40. Slicers. Well, here's another pickling variety. Homestead pickle. It says it matures in about 50 days. Alright, so a slicing I have is Space Master 80 and Bay Alpha. Now, slicers, I do know they mature in about 50 days. 50 to 60 days. These say 60 days, yes. So about 50 to 60 days. So that right there is 2 types of pickling and 2 types of slicer you can still plant in your garden right now. So yeah, let's move on to number 4, which is a herb. Now, I know this video says 5 vegetable plants, but I had to throw in an herb. Y'all, and that herb would be basil. So basil bolts quickly in my garden. Look at this pest on there. I'm about to get those right after I finish filming this. But it bolts quickly, and it actually grows quickly in my garden. So the packets say it takes about 50 something days, 50 to 60 days. Now it probably does, but I fertilize a lot in my garden, and so yeah. So thing about it is, you can pick these flowers off right here forever, but eventually they will sneakily, like at the bottom or something, bolt. And so you just want to start over with your basil. So here's a couple varieties: mammoth basil, Genovese basil, and red Reuben. So those right there are more faster growing, and that's red Reuben right there. I don't have mammoth basil, but these two right here are Genovese, or 3, and that one is like a mixed basil. I'm not sure what the variety name is that off the top of my head, but I can let y'all know if y'all want to know. Let's move on to the 5th crop you can still plant in your garden in July. Okay, so that 5th crop would be the famous tomato. Yes, you can still plant tomatoes in your garden. Here in the South, we plant 2, well, some people plant 2 different, sorry for my dogs, but they plant 2 different plantings. So they'll do one planting and plant another planting. This right here is the reason why. See this? They eventually just give out here in the South, or any hot climates, okay? So basically, I'm gonna give y'all a variety of each category in tomatoes. So first category I'm gonna give y'all, it's large cherry tomato. This right here matures in about 65 days. Like I said, we have 100 and something days here, so that gives us plenty of time. Next, I'm gonna give y'all a paste tomato, which is San Marzano. This right here matures in about 80 days, and you won't, well, hold up. This is a slicer. This matures in about 80 days as well. Well, 75 days. Think about this, or 70 days, sorry. So you want to, like, let's say you're not growing where I'm growing. You want to plant, sorry. Let's just say you have less time than me, or you have a shorter growing season, and you really can't do a second plant, or your planting died or whatever, you know, but you still want to plant some. You can still plant tomatoes. A patio variety would do good. Those take about 40 days. There's a 45-day tomato I know in my gardener that takes about 50 days, I would say. And I know there's early girl tomatoes, which actually was the first to produce. That's these up here. That's an early girl, and that is too. They actually took about, I would say, 50 days from me, you know, planting them from seed, or not really planting them from seed, but putting them in the ground. So yeah, that right there, y'all, is 5 vegetables you can still plant in your garden right now. There's some cantaloupe I need to harvest, but we will do that later. So this is part 1. Let me know if y'all want the part 2, because I have a whole list of stuff you can still plant. So y'all just let me know. I gotta water my garden this afternoon. So anyway, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Because if you're not subscribed and you hear me right now, what are you doing? You made it to the end of the video, so you might as well subscribe. Anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow with Tomato Tuesday. Bye, y'all.